Okay, in today's class we shall be going with the problem, numerical problem based on this primitive scheduling algorithm. Fine. In the earlier class we have solved the problems using non-primitive scheduling. As you know the difference between non-primitive and primitive scheduling. Fine. So now let us go with the problem based on a primitive CPU scheduling algorithm. In this also we will be going to solve all the 4 different type of CPU scheduling, which are those FCFS, SJF, priority and RR scheduling. So all these problems we have already completed using a non-primitive case. Now we shall go with this primitive case. In today's class I have given an example. So what is that? Consider there the following set of the process is given, arrival time is given and the burst time is given, right? And we are supposed to prepare the average waiting time, average turnaround time as well as the Gantt chart for the following process using FCFS scheduling, right? So before going to solve this problem, I would like to tell you some important formulas that you are going to apply it in the primitive scheduling algorithm, right? So look at here. So how to find out the turnaround time and waiting time? In your non-primitive cases, how you are going to do the turnaround time? See, turnaround time is simply nothing but, I told you in the scheduling criteria, turnaround time is nothing but, it is the amount of the time taken for the process which starts from beginning to end. What is the amount of time it is going to take the process once it enters into the CPU till the completion time? That was turnaround time in case of non-primitive case, right? So simply this is how we were supposed to go in case of non-primitive. Whereas in case of primitive problems, directly turnaround time cannot be calculated in that fashion. Instead of that, how we are going to do? Completion time minus arrival time of the process. So here they are given. So these are the process, these are the arrival time. For example, P1 is a process and the burst time of the process is 4 milliseconds, right? What is the amount of time it is going to take for the execution? That is completion time. That minus the arrival time of the respective process has to be subtracted. This is how the turnaround time is done, right? Whereas in case of waiting time, what is the waiting time there? In your non-primitive cases, what was the waiting time over there? Waiting time is nothing but how much amount of that process is being waited to get its chance to enter into the CPU, right? It means that it will be in the ready state itself until and unless the CPU gets free and the process which are there in the ready queue, it has to keep on waiting. That is what the waiting time, right? And this waiting time in the primitive scheduling algorithm, how we are going to solve it? Turnaround time minus the burst time, right? The turnaround time will be getting it from the process, right? Minus the burst time is already given in the problem, right? Fine. Now shall we start with this problem? Okay. So first how we are going to do it? First in the problem, as this problem is based on the FCFS or FIFO method. What is that? First come, first serve. Which process has entered first into the ready queue, that will be given a chance into the CPU for execution. This was a thing which was done in non-primitive cases. Whereas in case of primitive, there will be a arrival time. There is an extra column is given because till now we have not gone through the arrival time, right? Just only the process and the corresponding burst time was given, right? So here the arrival time is given. What is that arrival time here? What is the arrival time means? Arrival time is nothing but at what amount of the time, at what instance of that time that process has entered. Okay? At what amount of time that process has entered. So this arrival time we are going to consider and then prepare a Gantt chart, right? Now we should begin using a Gantt chart. Fine. So in our FCFS, how we are doing normally? P1 process is taken and corresponding burst time was taken, right? This was in case of non-primitive. Now primitive, put a column like this. First, obviously, we will be taking P1 as this is a first process. P1, and when did this P1 process has arrived? At what time it has arrived? milliseconds of time the P1 process has arrived, right? It means that it simply, as this is FCFS, it is very simple as in case of your similar like your non-primitive also, right? At 0th milliseconds, the process P1 has entered into the ready queue and it is given, and the burst time of that process is 4 milliseconds. It means that it is going to stay into the CPU for execution for 4 milliseconds of time, right? It means 0 plus 4, right? So after this 4 milliseconds of time, after this, the next arrival time of that process has come. What is the next? It means that 0 millisecond it has entered, it is going to execute its process. How much amount? 4 milliseconds of time. But at this, it cannot execute at 4 positive. Okay. So the 0th arrival, the P1 process, and it is going to take 4 milliseconds of time, right? After this, next at the first time, the P2 process is entering and it is going to take 2 milliseconds of time. Right? 4 plus 2, it will be 6 milliseconds of time. It is similarly, it is not going to change anything in your arrival time when we are solving this FCFS scheduling, right? And this, it is taken, it has been completed. Now next process is P3. Next P3, which was there in the ready queue, it is given a chance to enter into the CPU for execution, and this is arrived at the second. Okay, at the second means it's the third arrival time, but the time taken is 2 here, and the burst time of that particular process is 5 milliseconds. Okay, what is 6 plus 5? 11 milliseconds. It means 11 milliseconds of time this P3 is going to stay into the CPU for execution, right? And finally, which is the last process which has come into the ready queue is P4 process. It has arrived third, and what is the burst time of it is 4 milliseconds. Therefore, 11 plus 4, it will be 15 milliseconds of time. Is it not similar to that of your non-primitive scheduling algorithm? Is it not? Because arrival time doesn't make any effect into it. Whatever it is entering, they are going to utilize with respect to the burst time and preparing the Gantt chart. After this, again same. The main difference we'll be finding over here is turnaround time, waiting time. Got it? Now go with respect to turnaround time. Right? What is the turnaround time for the P1 process? What did I told? P1 process, that is completion time minus arrival time. Right? What is the completion time of the P1 process? P1 is how much amount of time it has taken? 4 milliseconds. Right? 4 minus, what is the arrival time of that process? 0. Right? 4 minus 0 will be 4. Means what is that turnaround time for P1 is 4 milliseconds. Similarly, P2, what is the completion time of P2? 6. It means that 6 minus, what is the P2 arrival? 1. 6 minus 1 will be 5. Yes. P3, what is the completion time of P3 is 11. Right hand side is called as a completion time. Left hand side is called as a waiting time. Got it? Okay. Now here P3 is 11. What is that? Arrival. Completion time minus arrival time of this P3 is 2. 11 minus 2? 9 milliseconds. Right? Then P4, same completion time minus arrival time. P4 completion time is 15. 15 minus arrival time of P4 process is 3 here. Yes. Right? Now finally how we are doing here? Average turnaround time is equal to sum of this, that is 4 plus 5 plus 9 plus 12 divided by 4. What will be the answer? 4 plus 5 is 9, 9 plus 9 18, 18 plus 2 will be 30. Right? 18 plus 12 will be
40.
30. 8, 9, 10. Yes. 30 divided by 4. 4 seconds are 28. Right? 28 means 4.2 milliseconds. So this is how we are going to do the turnaround time. Right? Now we shall go with the third going with respect to the primitive kind, right? So what is the waiting time of the P1 process? What is the formula that we are going to apply? Turnaround time minus burst time, right? What is the turnaround time for the process is 4. 4 minus, what is the burst time of that process? It is taking 4. Getting? 4 minus 4 will be 0. Got it? Turnaround time for the process P1. How much amount it has taken to complete its task? 4. Right? What is the burst time? It is already given in the problem. 4 minus 4 will be 0. Next one will be P2. What is the turnaround time of P2? 6. How much amount it has taken? 6. 6 minus what is the burst time? 2. Correspondence? 2. 6 minus 2 will be 4. Right? P3. What is turnaround time? 11. Minus burst time is 5. 6. Turnaround time is 5. And total will be 6. Right? Last is P4. Turnaround time for P4 is 15. 15 minus what is the burst time? 4. It is 11. And finally we are going to go for average waiting time. That is 0 plus 4 plus 6 plus 11 divided by 4. Which is nothing but 21 divided by 4. 4 5s are 20.1